The last time the Buffalo Bills selected a cornerback in the first round, it worked out pretty well. Will the Buffalo Bills go that route again, and can they strike gold? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this cornerback draft edition of Believers Talk. We're going to take a look at the cornerback position when it comes to the 2021 NFL Draft. Again, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, guys, please be sure to hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports breaking news. You want to talk about the Sabres? Hey, Sabres are still bad. But still, they're doing better. Fired the coach. Hey, we're getting things done, right? But we're talking about the Buffalo Bills, right? The NFL draft coming up at the end of April. Very excited. I talked about our positions of need. I still think that defensive end is our biggest position of need. I'm seeing a lot of experts take defensive end off the board for the Buffalo Bills with the signing of Efe Abawa, and I just think that that's the wrong move to make. I still think that we need that edge rusher guy who can make a big impact, and maybe it goes from day one pick to day two pick, but I still think that's a big need for the Buffalo Bills. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section, but we're going to talk today about the quarterbacks entering the NFL draft. And guys, day 1 and 2 at the cornerback position looking pretty sweet. And as I said, in 2017, we ended up drafting a cornerback at number 27. Turned out all right for the Buffalo Bills. Very happy with the way it turned out. Hopefully we can strike gold again if the Buffalo Bills select cornerback with the 30th overall pick in the NFL draft. So first, I want to talk about the cornerbacks that will be off the board, okay? So let's not have any fascinations that the Buffalo Bills are going to get Patrick Surtain, right? It's not going to happen. A great player. I wish the Bills could get him, but it's just not going to happen. J.C. Horn will probably be off the board when it comes to the Buffalo Bills pick. And then you look at a guy like a Greg Newsome. I really like Greg Newsome. I think he's one of the better cornerbacks in this draft out of Northwestern. 6'1", has the size, has great ball skills. Now, I think Greg Newsome's possible for the Buffalo Bills. Maybe a trade up a little bit to get him, but I think the Buffalo Bills could do that. Move up maybe from 30 to 25, 23, something like that, where the Buffalo Bills could move up if they wanted to get Greg Newsome, cornerback out of Northwestern. Like I said, 6'1", 109 pounds, has good size, right? Good length. Unfortunately, he needs to bulk up a little bit, but I think he has good ball skills. I think when you watch him, he likes to keep his eye on the quarterback. Does a good job looking for the ball when it's in the air, so I like that about him. Won't get as many pass interference calls against you if you're looking for the ball, if you're looking back for the ball. He has problems with physical wide receivers. Talked about the size, right? It doesn't have that muscle, so he's going to have an issue with physical bump at the line type wide receivers. Also had a groin injury his last game of his college career in the Big Ten Championship against Penn State. I'm sorry, not against Penn State, against Ohio State. And so interested to see how that affects him going into his rookie season. Hopefully all signs are good. I believe he did run his 40 at his pro day, so hopefully signs are good for him there. But I like Greg Newsome. I think that the Bills would have to trade up for a possibility to get him. But I think it's possible. I don't think it's like, I talk about Patrick Surtain. I think Patrick Surtain's a top 15 pick, right? The Buffalo Bills are not going to trade in the top 15. I think they would just have to give up too much capital. So I like Greg Newsome. When you're talking about guys that the Buffalo Bills should be able to get without really moving all that much at the cornerback position, the first name that comes to mind, the first name that I really like, Asante Samuel Jr., okay? Asante Samuel Jr. out of Florida State has great speed, okay? Has really good speed and has good agility, and he's able, again, to change direction when the ball's in the air, looking back for the ball. He's really an all-around great cornerback. His biggest concern, his size, right? Standing at 5'11", you do worry about him against the taller wide receivers, but most of your tall, big-name wide receivers are going to be covered by Trey White. So if he sits behind Trey White as that CB2 guy, again, a physical player, right? So he can bring that physicality to a team, and I think he has a good mindset about him already, so I think he fits the culture in Buffalo really well. I like Patrick Surtain Jr. a lot, and I would not mind seeing him as the next Buffalo Bill. Hill, selected in the first round by Brandon Beane and the Bills. And then you look at Tyson Campbell out of Georgia. You want to talk about size, 6'2", 185. This is a guy who can get physical with some of the wide receivers, right? This is a guy who has the size, who has the height to be able to deflect balls. Not the greatest at catching the ball, right? If you watch him his college tape, he doesn't have a lot of times where he's intercepting passes, but he does get a lot of pass deflections. And when you're playing defense, listen, turnover's huge. There's no denying that. But as long as you stop the offense from scoring, that's your purpose. That's why you're on the field. So I like Tyson Campbell. Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech, another guy with good size, 6'2", 207 pounds, great tackler, really big hitter, right? We know how Bills Mafia loves those big hitters, right? Boshan Joseph was huge when we drafted him. Everyone was talking so highly about him. Don't know why he didn't work out in Buffalo, but we loved him at the linebacker spot. This guy, same type of mentality. Now, again, he's not a linebacker, he's a corner, so he doesn't hit as hard, as ferociously, but he still has that aggression in him, and it's really good to see. He can play zone or man, so we know he's versatile. We know that Brandon Beane likes that versatility in his players. You know, it might help with the rotation a little bit, not having to rotate so often when we switch from man to zone or vice versa. He has a thin frame, right? He's a string bean, as they say. So maybe add a little muscle mass. He can definitely do that. Does have an issue with losing assignments. Okay, falls for the play action, pump fakes, things like that a little too often. You want to see him clean those up as well. But those are all things that can be worked on at the NFL level. Look at Caleb Farley as a potential pick for the Buffalo Bills. Even if they can steal one and trade down a little bit, get some extra picks, and still pick up Caleb Farley. I think Caleb Farley, however, is moving up a lot of draft boards. So if you want him, you have to stay where you're at, or maybe again, like with Greg Newsome, you have to trade up a little bit, and that's fine if that's what the Buffalo Bills choose to do. As far as day 2 is concerned, there's one guy in mind. Let's say the Buffalo Bills don't go cornerback day 1, which again, I think defensive end is still a more pressing need for the Buffalo Bills, but I wouldn't mind seeing them cornerback on day 1 either. But let's say they wait till day 2. You look at Eric Stokes out of Georgia, had a really good pro day, ran a really fast 40. Now, the problem with me and the 40 time is that you don't want to get too caught up in it, right? Now, he does have the size to go along with it, or at least the height at 6'1" to go along with that speed. But you want to make sure you don't get caught up in just a fast guy. We've seen the Oakland, now Las Vegas Raiders get caught up in fast wide receivers. We saw it with the Detroit Lions with wide receivers. How these speedy guys all of a sudden get jolted up draft boards just because they're fast, and then they don't have the success that their draft pick would let you think that they would have, because people love speed, and you know, I think that the 40 time, although I think it's an important drill to run, I think it can be the most overrated of the drills if the coaching staffs and the GMs allow it to happen. I don't think we should look too much into 40 times unless we see the ball skills to go along with those 40 times. And that's what I'm looking for. And Eric Stokes does have that to some degree. Still want to see him turn his head around a little bit more when the ball is in the air. Still has issues against some physical wide receivers, plays better, I believe, in zone than man. But those are some things that all could be worked on. And then you look at my sleepers. I have 2 sleepers that I really am interested in going into the NFL draft. That's Marco Wilson out of Florida and Trey Brown out of Oklahoma. Both names that have kind of gone to the wayside, but these are big programs, right? They played for big-time schools. And you talk about good size on both these guys. If you look for sleeper picks, I like Marco Wilson. I like Trey Brown. Both projected to go day 3. Wouldn't be surprised if the Buffalo Bills maybe try to snag one of those guys late and have maybe 2 cornerbacks in this draft. We'll see what happens, but I'm very excited. Let me know what cornerbacks you're thinking about going into the NFL draft. Which ones do you like? Which ones are you not a fan of? Which ones do you think are getting overhyped? And who would you want the Buffalo Bills to draft at the number 30 position if they went cornerback? Thank you guys for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk, where we broke down the cornerback position and the potential for the Buffalo Bills to get a cornerback with the 30th overall pick. Again, it worked a few years ago at 27. Let's try to make it work again. It wouldn't be that bad of an idea. I know we have Levi Wallace back. I know that, you know, we have some slot corners available. I know everyone loves Dane Jackson, but let's get that shutdown guy opposite of Trey White, and then we'll have 2 Pro Bowlers. I wouldn't mind that at all at the cornerback position. Again, thank you guys for joining me. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, like this video. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.